So, this is episode 4 of Neurodivergence Unfiltered, and that's what we're doing today. We are unfiltering the unfiltered, and today I'm joined by a special guest, is Joe Workman. Good afternoon, Joe. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Good afternoon, Kevin. Thank you for inviting me.
No, you're very, very welcome. So, we're going to talk about your children, but one in particular,
Yes.
your daughter, Hannah, who's 17 years old. Tell us what's been going on, Joe.
Right. Well, first of all, it started about 2 years ago when she was in mainstream school. She hadn't got the diagnosis at the time, so I knew there was something because as parents, we always know there's something not quite right. So put lots of things in place, kept going up to school saying there's something not right, can we do this, can we do that? She then came out of school for quite a long period of time. It must have been about 18 months. In that time, school really didn't do anything. The local authority didn't do anything, even though they're supposed to after 15 calendar days. They did nothing either. So this poor girl is just there, and all we were getting was somebody coming once a week saying, is she all right? And that were it. Nothing about her, helping her with her exams or anything like that. All this time I was asking also about getting a diagnosis. In the end, my doctor, who was absolutely amazing, said, right, because the CAMS waiting list is so long, so let's do a right to choose, which he explained what the right to choose was, we thought about it and we said, yes, let's go for this. It's, sounds amazing. The waiting list at the time was 14 months, which compared to CAMS, which is in our area, is like 5 years. And obviously, because of her age, coming up to, leading up to 16, which is quite an important age, we needed to get it done straight away. We needed something so we'd got something to work with. We went and had a right to choose. It's not a quick fix. It takes quite a few months for it to get sorted, but it's very, very good. And then we got a right to choose, and she's got AUDHD, which obviously, if people don't know, it's autism and ADHD. She is mostly ADHD. There's also that come out as well. So we got this amazing diagnosis, everything absolutely fabulous. We came home, and then I got in touch with the local pathway, the development pathway, and said, right, my daughter's got this, she's been diagnosed, what help can you give us? And that is when it all absolutely went just a bit crackers, really. They refused to do a shared care. So shared care is obviously when you get, you get your diagnosis, you come back and you say to your doctors or whoever, we need this, can you help us? Hannah was told that she may be able, when we'd got the private diagnosis, they said, because of your sleep and because of the trouble you're having around sleep and because of your anxiety, maybe going on medication for ADHD would be a good thing. This is also in the report. So we were hoping that we would come back, go to the doctor or local CAMS and go, right, this is what we've got. Can we have help? Absolutely not. We have got nothing. She's 17, just turned 17. We have got this diagnosis. We've luckily got an education, health and care plan just been done. That was should have been done in 20 weeks. That's now nearly gone on for a year. So all this time, this poor girl, 17, she's now at home. We're not sure what's going to happen next. And nobody will do a shared care either. So it's, if I paid to get a medication, then I could go and get it from somewhere. But obviously I'm not I can't just go and be spending thousands of pounds on medication because obviously, I just haven't got that money to be able to do that. Basically.
The thing is, at the end of the day, if you've got a diagnosis of some form on the NHS, if somebody's been diagnosed with cancer or Alzheimer's or dementia, everything, or diabetes, there's a pathway, there's a clear pathway there.
Absolutely.
Your daughter is entitled to NHS treatment, NHS medication. Shouldn't as a parent have to pay privately? Because the medication can cost anything between £250 to £400 a month.
Yeah, it can, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So yeah, carry on, Joe. Sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted you
no,
there.
no, no, it's fine, it's fine. So yeah, so at the minute we are. I've just got early help involved because we've tried a couple. We tried going to college, but because there was school had not passed anything on regarding the issue she was having at school or anything like that, she only spent a day there and she couldn't cope with that. This is just before we got diagnosed. So there was no thingy there. So and then we've tried another provision when she got diagnosed. And this was where they do maths, English, and like a job skill thing. They wouldn't do anything because she'd not got an education, health, and care plan actually in place. So they were expecting her to go in full thing with no help whatsoever. So that's not worked out either. So now at the moment, we've got early help coming tomorrow, and we are now, it's as if we're having to start from the very beginning of when she's left school at 16, because we've now got this education, health and care plan. We're still no further forward with the shared care. We're getting, I keep banging on because luckily I am quite a, I know some stuff, and I'll go to the doctors, and we've got an amazing doctor, and I'll say, right, this is what's happening. He's tried his very best, and so we're just there. And the thing is, well, the reason why I need people to know about this as well, this going and getting a private diagnosis, as I call it, the right to choose. They are making it out, especially in my area, and it might not be for everybody, but in my area, they're making out that it's this wonderful thing. You will get all this so and so, all this help after. It'll be absolutely amazing. And that is not the case. And that to me is main thing at the minute. I'm hearing it time and time again because I run a special needs youth club. And I'm hearing it time and time again, people going for this, going, well, it's quicker than CAMS because our CAMS waiting list is 4 years. So let's go down that. It's quicker than CAMS. They'll do exactly the same as what CAMS do, not realising that they are not. They are not doing, like you said. I've, like I say, I've got my local MP involved because nobody really knows. You're going from, it's like I'm on this roundabout at the minute. We were just going round and round, and somebody's saying, oh, it's not us. And then we'll go to somebody else, well, it's not us either. And that's where we are at the minute. And I'm glad in one bit that we did get we did the right to choose because we did get the diagnosis, but it's after the diagnosis. There is nothing if you've done a right to choose. Nobody will help you. And that's my main thing at the minute. It's what do we do? What do we do next? It's
Yeah, so we'll just explain to the viewer. So people don't know what shared care is. So, and basically, when somebody's got a diagnoses of ADHD or autism through the clinic providers, then when uh, the clinic providers start titrating medication,
yeah,
and they get the person on the right medication, and then once that
yeah,
person's on the right medication, they hand
hmm
it back over to the GP, and then the
that's right.
GP does what's called a shared care. But what's happening
hmm
up and down the country at the moment in the United Kingdom is that some doctors will tick the box and say, yes, shared care agreed, go ahead with the medication. And then some other areas in the UK, the GP is saying, no, we're not going to do the shared
Yes,
care.
yeah,
So what I believe what happens, don't quote me on this, but what I've been
right.
told is that if the GP refuses the shared care, then
hmm
the clinic provider under the umbrella of the NHS has to
hmm
provide the treatment because they've done the
Right.
assessment and
hmm
they've done the assessment, they followed everything through. Has your daughter actually titrated on any type of medication at all yet?
No, no, there is nothing because obviously we don't know what way to go, which avenue to go down, what medication do we start on, what do we try, what, because nobody will speak to us about it. We basically, the doctor, like I say, our doctor was really good, and he obviously sent along to CAMS or wherever it was, and said, right, this is what's in this report. This says at the end in this report about this having medication, because that was, it's actually written down. in the report. He sent it off, and it's actually CAMS and that team that have said, no, we're not helping you. We're not doing anything with the shared care. And I think, I'm sure it's I'm trying to think who else there was. I have sent quite a few letters to different people. My local MP has sent letters to the same people to see if she got the same answer, the same answer, the wrong answer, or if she'd got another answer. And it's coming back every time from those people, no, we cannot help you because you did a right to choose. And that's what it says in this letter. Because you did a right to choose, we don't have to help you.
Yeah, what I'd probably be inclined to do is go back to the clinic who did the assessment and did the
Yeah,
diagnoses and say,
yeah.
"Look, you know, I'm great that you've done the diagnoses, etc., etc. I need to start my daughter on some sort of treatment, whether
Mm,
it's stimulant medication or non-stimulant medication. However, you need to start that because you've provided the assessment, you provided the
mhm,
diagnoses, so therefore you need to start the treatment."
mm.
If they
I have
refuse,
asked. I have asked that. Yes, I have asked that, and they said no. They won't. And yeah, because I know it would say they just went no. Go back to your doctor. So I go back to my doctor, and they say no. And so it's just like I said, it's on this. We're just on this roundabout. This like we're just not getting off anywhere here.
yeah, because
So yeah,
what happens is the clinic provider has to start the medication because, for example,
yeah.
any GP doesn't know everything about ADHD
Oh no,
medication, and
no,
they can't
doesn't know that.
prescribe it because
No.
they're not the experts in that field. So
Mhm.
therefore, the clinic who's done the assessment and done the diagnosis,
Mhm.
they should start the treatment. They should start the titration. Then once your
Yeah.
daughter's on the correct medication, then it gets passed over to the GP, and then the GP takes over the shared care.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like nobody knows basically what they're doing,
No,
and
I
it's
I think yeah, I think that sounds sort of. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Kevin. I don't think anybody really does know what anybody's doing, and I think because it's this shared care, it feels to me like not shared care. Sorry, feels to me like we've done this right to choose, and that's great because it gets us off their books, the books of CAMS. That means we're not on their list. We're not on their, they don't have to provide anything now. So that's great for them. And to me, it feels like we're being fobbed off a bit. Like, well, we'll put them on there, but we're not going to give them no help after. But at least we look like we're doing something. And that's personally, and myself and quite a few parents I know are feeling at the minute. It's as if it's like a tick box exercise. Well, we'll get them off the list. That'll go down, the list will go down. We'll get them on right to choose, but then we're not going to help them after. And
have
that's
you
the sad reality.
have you
Yeah.
approached the local ICB?
No, I haven't. I don't think.
Because
No.
so the local ICB are the funders who fund the treatment. So what I
Right.
would do if I was you, I'd be writing to get your well, I wouldn't write yourself. I would get your MP to write to the local ICB. So ask your
Right.
MP to write to the local
Yeah.
ICB and ask him, is this a funding issue? Is that why you can't provide the treatment?
Ah, yeah.
Is it a funding issue? Because it sounds to me that obviously because this area is quite complex,
Hmm.
nobody knows what to do or
No.
actually to start the process. Uh, but that's what normally happens is that the clinic does the assessment, does the
Yeah.
diagnosis, they start
Yeah.
treatment, they get the person on the right medication. It's trial and error sometimes. They might try one or two,
a-
three different medications. Once
Absolutely.
they've got the patient on the right medication, and then
Hmm.
they pass it back to the GP, and then
Hmm.
they start the shared care. Uh,
Hmm.
However, sometimes medication may not work for that individual. So, as you probably know, I've got ADHD, recently diagnosed in my
Yes.
50s, private diagnoses, went through to the right to choose, got a private diagnosis as well, and
Hmm.
then tried medication, but to be honest, it didn't really suit me.
Yeah.
So I haven't started any sort of
Right.
medication because
Yeah.
there is side effects.
Yeah, absolutely,
to
of
all
course.
medication. However, you know,
Yeah.
it can change people's lives,
Yeah,
medication. You
absolutely.
know, it can
Yeah, it
make them
can, can't it?
function.
Yeah.
It can make them function in society. It can help with their education. It can help with the
Mhm.
focus. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the medication at all. What I'm saying is it doesn't work for everybody, but it does work for
Mhm.
quite a lot of people.
Yeah,
But they should be giving your daughter the opportunity to try medication, whether it works, whether it doesn't work, you know, just to try
exactly.
it. So
Just to
I
try, yeah, 'cause we just don't know, do we? You know,
yeah, so I would
whether it could help her with because, Hannah's very much what I've realised with her is her mind is on the go all the time. She's always over everything, and she can't focus. And she'll even admit herself, I just look out her window sometimes, and I just look at a bird when she's supposed to be focusing on things. And it was that I was thinking it may help regulate her a bit better, and settle her down into those little bits. So like you say, yes, you should be given the opportunity to try it. And like you say, she might not like it. It might be, but why aren't we giving her that opportunity? She's an amazing girl, and she's very clever. She's very, very clever. And when she puts her heart and soul into something, she goes for it, and to the best she can possibly be. And to see her not getting that, I think this is my, as a mum, to see her not getting that, knowing that if somebody just took that, just took her and go, right, we can help you. We're going to do this with the potential that she could become is unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely.
and do you find as a parent all this is I don't mean as a headache not being a parent, but do you think the system gives you a headache? It's just like
Absolutely.
you do you feel as
Oh,
though you because I'm not a parent, I don't have any children, but, I wouldn't know. So,
yeah.
I just want to take your stance on it. What's it
Uh-huh.
like as a parent, day in,
Gosh.
day out with the system?
Yeah. You see, the thing is, I've got my daughter who's 21, Gabby. She's autistic. She's quite severely autistic. So obviously, I was hoping that this with Hannah was going to go along similar lines, so I know where I am. This with Hannah has just totally floored me. I've had sleepless nights, phone call after phone call, email after email, letter after letter. I'm just completely wiped out sometimes. I'm on antidepressants anyway because of things, and because it's just horrendous, the stuff that you're having to do just because you want that little bit of a help for somebody who will be absolutely amazing, whatever that job is that they will be doing. But I totally understand where parents just sit in their home with their heads in their hands in the corner, rocking backwards and forwards and crying and thinking, what have I done? What have I, why is nobody listening to me? It's an awful thing to have to think about, but it happens. It really does happen out there. And I know, because I've, like I say, I've had my daughter, she was luckily diagnosed at 5. So I've had all that, but this with Hannah, and because of her age, and she's totally different, because every child's different, obviously, and young person. But it's just horrendous. The stress you go through is unbelievable. I mean, sometimes if I had a blood pressure monitor on me, it would just be sky high, depending on what I'm having to deal with at that day. And when nobody's giving you the answers, and you are forever, you feel like you're just banging your head against the brick wall. It is just as bad as that. There are parents out there, I am sure, that are going through the same, if not worse, than what we are going through. And it's the lack of knowledge, it's the lack of help, and it's the lack of somebody just to listen to you and just to say, right, we've got you, we'll help you. And it's also, you are always having to be the one that goes out of your way to do it. You have to try and get in touch with social workers. You have to get in touch with these people. My concern is, and the people I worry about, are those parents that don't know. And those parents that don't do what I do by phoning and emailing and things, and they struggle. And that is a big concern of mine in the UK at the minute, that these parents are just not getting that help and they are sitting alone, and they shouldn't be sat alone. It's not that something that's just totally arrived, this autism, and it's like that old argument, and everybody seems to be diagnosed with ADHD now or autism. No, it's not. It's because it's got better for diagnosing people and diagnosing, and things getting better that way. But it's not getting better for parents. As a parent myself, and and I've got quite a few, friends that are parents. And we just sit there sometimes and go, "What on earth? What do we do now? What's our next? What's our next step?" And I think that's my worry at
Yeah,
the
I was going
minute.
to say, have you wrote to the health minister, West Streeting, but obviously he's resigned now, so you can't write to him.
Yeah, I
But
did.
have you,
I did write to him. He was one of the emails that when I was sending all these emails off, I sort of like put it in a thingy email with everybody's email. I think there were about 10 people I emailed all at the same time. And he was one of them. Yeah, he was one of them. But
no
I didn't really get
response?
anything from him. No. The only response I got, which was quite a good response, and I'm quite surprised, is from my local MP. And she were quite, oh, right, okay. And right, I'll do this. I'll send this letter. And she did say, please keep me informed. Please let me know what's going off, because this is just not right. She's the only one really that I think has taken it on board and sort of started thinking, yeah, this is not right, this.
Yeah, probably maybe it's a good time now to write to. I'm not sure who the new health minister is, but
Yeah, I'm
maybe
not sure.
write to the new one. If you Google
Yes,
the new health minister, no, because West
yes,
Streeting's resigned, but
yes,
uh,
yes.
probably just send them an email or to their
Uh-huh. Yeah,
ministerial office. But
yeah,
yeah, it just
yeah.
sounds like you're going round and round and round and round in
Yeah.
circles. And like you say, you're on this roundabout and you just can't seem to get off it because
No,
you can't
no.
get off it because you're just going round and round and round in circles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so frustrating as a parent to not be able to get the best for your child when I'm giving my best to my daughter, but there's only so much I can do to make her become the best that she can be. So that's, it's frustrating when you just want that little bit. I don't expect people to come in and do these amazing things and everything be absolutely fabulous and rosy. And, that's just not the world we live in. But it would be nice just for somebody to say, right, we've got you. This is what we're going to do. We will help you. Yeah. And that's all. I think that's all any parent wants, really.
Yeah, do you
To
think that you were saying earlier that, some parents don't know how to probably email or bang on the door
Mhm,
or, shout
mhm.
about it? What do you think happens to them?
Exactly. This is, like I said, this is my concern, because because I've been in this a long time with having my other daughter. I'm sort of like quite up there with different things. But if you're coming in to this the very first time and you're just being fobbed off, people, they're just going to be sat at home. There's going to be people sat at home not knowing what to do. And their mental health is going to be absolutely horrendous. And how can we expect parent or somebody, not a parent, it could be a carer, or how can we expect that person to help that child when they are getting their mental health's not great because of it either? So you've got, we talk about children and young people and adults who've got this, but it's those that are caring, those parents, those carers, whoever are caring, that their mental health is struggling as well. So nobody's there for them either, and it seems to be in the UK at the minute, it's, mental health is huge, huge. I've done lots of courses about it. It's something that I'm really, do you know what I mean? I'm really into. I really love to know what's around this mental health thing. But for a parent to sit there and be sat, and I have done it myself, sat in a corner and just cried because I've gone, what on earth is going off? And those parents who are not getting no help are just going to be sat in their house. They will, because we've all done it, take your child to school. They'll have gone to school, probably picked them up, Teacher will have said to them, oh, you know, what's happened today, blah, 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 blah. Fetched them back home. You shut that door, you lock that door, and that's it. You're in that house and stuck in that house. Your mental health's going down. You're not giving the best to your family. And it
I was just,
starts all over again
yeah, I was
the
just
next
thinking
day.
when you were talking there, Joe. Have you wrote or emailed your local, not your councillors, but you know your local council? You have a county council and councillors
Yes.
made up of different parties, Labour,
Mm-hmm.
etc., etc. So each local council has a strategic board of
Yes.
councillors who sit
Yes,
on a
they do.
certain panel for
Uh-huh.
education and social care. Have you wrote to
Mm-hmm.
them?
I have emailed the oh gosh, and I can't say her name because I know her name, but I'm not going to say it. I have wrote to emailed somebody, and she's supposed to be in. I don't know whether this is what you mean, or is this something else? She is in obviously a councillor in the council, my local council, and she's in charge of children and families.
Ah, yes, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I couldn't get the
Yeah,
word out.
yeah. I've emailed her, and her response was basically, "Well, I'll pass your email on. That right? That's I'll pass your email on to somebody else." And that's basically all I got from that person. So I did put a complaint in via the local council to say this is not good enough, and I've heard nothing, and that were a few weeks ago. I feel like I've tried every avenue that you could possibly think to go down, that could potentially help me. But whether or not we have got another someone in the local authority, whether we've got like a strategic group or something like that, I'm not sure whether, because I felt like at one bit actually just saying, can I come down when you have your council meetings in town hall and listen to what I've got to say, and please listen to what I've got to say, because you're not listening and you're not hearing.
So
And why are you not
have they
listening?
invited you or not?
No, no, no. I think our local council as well have just been given an Ofsted rating of fantastic. The amount of people that put a post on about it, and they'd got this fantastic outstanding rating for children and young people and sending school and all this lot, and the amount of people that went on that post and went, how on earth have you got that? You can't have been talking to me. I mean, they must have been. I think they ended up taking the post off. Took the post down because there were that many parents going, well, where's this come from? Because we're not getting what you were saying that we're getting, and it were, and I just thought, wow, that's saying a lot when there's that many parents out there in our, because it's not a huge local authority ours, so we're not saying like London or anything like that. It's not huge, but to have that many people and you're looking at it going, wow, that is, that's something I think that's hugely powerful. And if I was somebody at the council, I would be looking at that going, hold on a minute here, there's something going very wrong in our area.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's a
So
postcode lottery where you live?
absolutely. I am so glad you said that, because I absolutely do. I absolutely do. I
I
think
know, because
because we're in,
you haven't
yeah,
mentioned which part of the world. Just tell people which part of the world you're from.
I'm from
Area,
South Yorkshire. Do you want
South
me to get a
Yorkshire.
bit more? Do you want me to get a bit more thingy than that? Would you like me
No,
area?
that's okay. South Yorkshire.
Is that all
So,
right? South Yorkshire, yeah.
for example, if you lived in, let's pick an area. Uh, if you lived in Devon,
Yep,
do you think the services would be different?
I think so. Yes, yeah, I think so.
If you lived in, say, oh, I don't know, Essex.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
If you
I
lived
think
in,
it would be.
let's pick another area, and I'm not picking on areas here,
No, no,
Uh,
this is it. So we're not picking on any
if
area.
you lived in, I don't know, I'm just gonna pick a random place, Oldham, Manchester.
Now, what I would think with Oldham and Manchester is that maybe they would be similar to us because of the people that live there and I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't make it sound like Manchester's. Um, the deprivation and things like that in those areas, and and things like that. I don't think that helps. And I think because in the area I live, there is a lot of areas that are, low income, low income areas and things like that. I think that also plays a part in it.
So if you
It
think you lived
shouldn't.
if
It
you lived in
shouldn't
this
do, but I
yeah.
think it does.
So if you lived in the south of England, do you think you find yourself in this situation?
I don't. Well, I don't think I would. I think it would be. I mean, I could be totally wrong because we're just thinking, aren't we? We're not really sure. But I know round my area. In fact, the town next to me has got a better thing for Sen than we have, and that's the town next to me. And that's just because. Why? I don't know. Is it a different CCG that run it? Is it something different? I'm not sure. But I know people from either side of where I live, my town, and you'll go to the one and go, oh, yeah, no, we've got that and we've got this and we've been give that. And oh, right, to choose. Oh, yeah, we've been. And I'm going, hold on a minute, but they don't do that in my town. And then it's on the opposite side as well, the other side. I know people in that area and they're going, oh, well, why haven't they done this for you and why haven't they done that? And I'm thinking, what on earth is it? That has crossed my mind quite a few times. Yeah, the postcode lottery, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely. Postcode.
if I can help at all in any way, as you probably know, I'm an eye
Yes,
representative for the International Human Rights Foundation
yes.
across Europe. So, if you want me to write you a letter,
Oh,
just
that would be
a,
amazing.
generic, well, not generic letter, but a
Yes,
letter just saying
rubber.
how it is and what they should be doing, I'm more than
Yes,
happy to do that because, you shouldn't be,
yeah.
at the end of the day, your daughter, just wants to get on with life,
Mhm.
get a good
She does.
education, get a
She
job,
does.
and just gets the right
Uh-huh.
support and the right help and the
Yeah,
right treatment. It's not rocket
absolutely, she
science.
does. It
Uh,
isn't. It isn't, not at all.
but thank you for being so open and so frank. And,
No, you're absolutely welcome. I
it
think it does need to be spoke about more, about what we're going through. Absolutely. There's no point sitting there and hiding it. It's got to be out there. People have got to start listening. They've got
definitely,
to us.
most definitely. And this is what all the show's about: neurodivergence
Yeah,
unfiltered.
yeah.
Filtering the unfiltered. But thanks for
Mm.
joining me, Joe. Have
You
a
are
great
very,
day,
very
and
welcome.
I
Thank
wish you all the
you.
best.
Oh, that's lovely. You take care.